Hey everybody, Yankee here. First off, I want to apologize for the fact that I'm all dirty and unwashed here because I had made the mistake last night of saying, well, at least nothing else can go wrong in the house. And I woke up this morning to find out my water heater had said, hold my beer, and gave up the ghost. So I've been working on that. I wasn't going to get online today, but I feel I had to get in here and chime in on something that the media has latched onto and is just running with. And it's this whole notion that Kamala Harris has said she's a gun owner. Therefore, gun people don't have to worry about their Second Amendment rights. She obviously supports the Second Amendment because she owns a gun. And I want to come on here and reiterate that we are not that stupid. We know that gun ownership and Second Amendment support are not synonymous. They are two different things. People like Kamala Harris, they understand how important guns are. They understand the power of guns. And they think that they deserve those. They think they deserve the protection that guns provide. But they don't think other people should have it. Simply saying, oh, well, I own a gun doesn't mean you support the Second Amendment. I've made a big point that there's a lot of gun channels on YouTube that don't truly support the Second Amendment. They're okay with infringements. I'm a totally no compromise Second Amendment person, but most people are not. Even most of the most staunch supporters of the Second Amendment, supposed supporters, still believe in things like background checks and, ex-felons shouldn't be able to own guns, while none of that is in the Constitution. And the Constitution says, shall not be infringed. So even if you are a supporter of gun rights to a degree, that doesn't mean you support the Second Amendment. And people like Kamala Harris, that definitely doesn't mean they support the Second Amendment. Because if you notice when she said, I'm a gun owner, she pointed out, I was a professional prosecutor. Of course I needed a gun for protection. They think they're special. You know, they have special circumstances. They're more important, so they need to be protected. These people almost always have guns, or they have people around them with guns to protect them. They understand what guns are for and what guns can do, and that's why they don't want us having them. It's a lot easier to rule when the peasants are unarmed. You know, you got to take their pitchforks before they storm the castle. That doesn't mean you don't understand what pitchforks are good for. You know, if you take all their swords, that doesn't mean you don't want your soldiers having swords. It just means you don't want the people that might rise up against you having them. And that's what people like Kamala Harris and all these other politicians, when they say, I own a gun, so therefore you don't have to be afraid. Yes, we have to be afraid because they don't believe in the Second Amendment. Like I've said many, many times, and I've tried to get this through the head of so many people, even when it has to do with people on YouTube, just because they like guns doesn't mean they support the Second Amendment. Just because someone does videos all the time of them shooting guns, blowing stuff up, talking about the importance of guns, that doesn't mean they support your right to have a gun. I know YouTube channels on here that I have stood next to in the lobby of a hotel in Las Vegas while they talk to NRA guys about how a lot of people shouldn't have guns. And that a lot of the YouTube channels that do gun channels shouldn't be allowed to handle guns. They don't support the Second Amendment. They just like guns. They think they're special and they should have them. And they think that they like to make money off of them. That's one of the things they love to do. But they don't support the Second Amendment. And if you think that's just YouTubers, you're crazy. The elite love guns. They love weapons. People like Elon Musk and stuff would have private armies if there weren't laws against it that kind of restrict them from being able to do that. So what they do instead is they buy the government, and the government provides them private armies called police officers that serve the government interest, which serves the billionaires. So they understand the importance of firearms, but they don't support the Second Amendment because the Second Amendment was primarily so that we could take care of them if we needed to, so that the ruling class could be overthrown. They understand that. That's why they don't want us having firearms. They're fine with them having them. They want them to be the only ones that have them. They want the only people to have guns be themselves, the people that protect them personally, and their own private little armies that they spread throughout the country to control the population, i.e. police. So don't latch on to this whole idea, well, she said she owns guns, so the Second Amendment people are just crazy for thinking she's going to take guns away. That's a ridiculous narrative. It doesn't even follow basic logic. Just because she thinks something's good for her doesn't mean she thinks it's good for the people that someday might have to overthrow her. That just doesn't make any sense. And like I said, I saw this time and time again today on Instagram, etc. Kamala Harris is a gun owner, therefore she supports the Second Amendment. Kamala Harris is a gun owner, therefore she supports the Second Amendment. On every news media outlet today. It's just all over the place. And it is such garbage. Most gun people don't even fully support the Second Amendment. People like Kamala Harris and other politicians definitely don't. So quit trying to make that false equation that just because they own a gun or they have armed security themselves, that they respect our right to be armed. Because they do not. Because like I said, these people think they're special. They think they are the ones destined to rule. Heck, Elon Musk said he thinks the country should be run by an elite group of men. Do you think he wants everyone else armed? Or else that small elite group of men aren't going to be able to do anything that the people don't like. So no, just owning a gun doesn't make you pro-2A. I've made that point before, and especially when it comes to people like Kamala Harris, it doesn't mean they're pro-2A because they are anti-2A to the bone, because they don't want the population armed. They don't want the peasants to have swords. They want them unarmed and easy to control.